Well, 7 hits for the Warriors through their first 5 at-bats. Trinity in the lead 4-3. And we'll get another opportunity here to bat with a lead. They were unable to extend the advantage in the 4th inning.
And that's an inning that we'll, no question, look back on, particularly if Trinity wins this game. Just a fantastic opportunity for Eastern Connecticut. I think if you were to give them a set of circumstances to choose to go into an inning, I think they'd ask for the bases loaded instead of first and second, but they would ask to have those runners out there with those 3 gentlemen coming up to plate, because that's been the part of their order that's been sustaining them throughout this series, particularly Schultz and Gilblair batting back-to-back. I was stunned to see them both strike out looking.
When you look at Gilblair, 6 RBI in this postseason. Schultz with 5. I mean, those are the 2 guys that, as you said, they've been pushing the runs across. If you're Bill Holowati and you were told, okay, you're going to get to have your 2 biggest guys, Schultz and Gilblair, up there with 2 runners on and nobody out, I think you'd take it. Bottom of the 5th. We'll see if Trinity, after dodging a bullet in the top half of the inning, can come back with some runs of their own. It's the big batters for the Bantams, Killeen, Graham, and Wood. 3, 4, and 5 hitters for Trinity. That ball lifted in the air to right field. A run over for Schultz. He's got room and makes the catch. And quickly, 1 gone for Trinity.
And I wonder if there were to be a second game here today, if Coach Holowati would consider bumping Castillo down a spot or 2 in the order, because there have been so many instances where he just has not come through with runners on base. That was another instance there, batting with a couple of men on. He had a couple on in the 3rd inning as well when he struck out. And you've got guys in Hobbs and Perry who have been producing throughout the tournament, hitting down there. You might just want to connect those dots.
Will Musin continuing to deal here in the home half of the 5th. He has battled well through 4 frames, got 1 out here in the 5th inning in the 2-0. Up over the head of Kent Graham. That one just got away from him. A little bit early on the release for Musin. That one's high and a 4-pitch walk. Graham down to first, and here comes James Wood. 2 RBI single in the 1st inning. Tied the game at the time at 2. And struck out looking back in the 3rd.
Now how about this? Jim Kukuchka getting up and throwing in the Eastern Connecticut bullpen. He started their last game.
You don't see it very often, but we haven't seen a lot of the things very often that the Warriors have had to do this week. Everybody's on deck and everybody's available.
You would think he'd be the one guy that wasn't available.
Seeing as he pitched in the last game. Well, you'd think he and Schultz probably would both not be available because they both pitched yesterday. But he is down there warming up. Line drive, base hit around second base. On his way to 3rd is Graham, and Wood delivers again. Ryan Piacentini had the RBI single to tie it back in the 3rd. He is up with runners at 1st and 3rd and 1 out. Musin misses the outside corner. If Piacentini can extend the inning, Kevin Mortimer will come up next. These 2 went back-to-back with 2 out RBI singles in the 3rd to give the Bantams the lead that they hold now.
Now, I can't help but wonder if Kukuchka's warming up in the bullpen, and this is a good moment as he's appearing on your screen, what is Sean Gilblair's capacity to be able to pitch in this game today? You don't have the luxury of warming him up in the bullpen, at least not while the team's on the field, with him playing first base right now. But perhaps he could move over to the pitcher's mound.
Breaking ball from Musan, catches the inside corner.
Gil Blair, of course, had a huge performance earlier in this tournament. That was back on Friday as Eastern Connecticut vanquished their longtime rival Southern Maine with a 7-2 victory. 14 strikeouts in 7 innings of work. He was halted at 7 innings for exactly this reason, so that he'd be available at some point later on.
Well, physically banged up a little bit, but he has told his coach he's ready to go.
Nice pick.
Bob Wojcik with the quick hands down there at the third baseline.
An error-free game all the way around when Eastern's on defense.
Piacentini takes, and it's a full count. Graham down at third, Wood over at first, one gone here in the fifth. Bantams with a real chance to extend their lead here. Fly ball, deep left field. Running back to the track, it's Perry. At the wall, makes the catch. Tagging and coming home is Graham, and Trinity has extended its lead 5-3. Sacrifice RBI for Piacentini.
Offensively, I think this game is going to end up on the shoulders of Piacentini and Mortimer, and they've done a spectacular job with it so far. The reason I say that is because these Eastern Connecticut pitchers are being very careful with Graham and with Wood. They don't want to make the big mistake there. Graham's been walked. He's been hit by a pitch. They've treaded very lightly with Wood as well, although he does have a couple of hits. I'm sure they'll be very careful with him in his future at-bats. So what you could end up seeing is rather than those guys being the big cleanup hitters, they will end up being table setters because the Eastern Connecticut pitchers will be willing to give them a base so they don't do any huge damage. And then it'll fall upon the next part of the order to drive those runners in.
It's almost Colleen and Graham, like you say, who have been put on base with careful pitching. Colleen walked and scored in the third. Graham was hit by a pitch and scored in the third. He has walked and scored already here in the fifth.
They've scored the last 3 runs of the game for Trinity.
If you look, all 5 of their RBI have come from 5 and down in the order. 5, 6, and 7 hitters have driven in all the runs for Trinity so far this afternoon. Mortimer behind 0-2, 2 outs, a runner on at first. The Bantams have added a run. Lead 5-3 on the sacrifice fly by Ryan Piacentini. We'll see if Bill Decker's club can get more. Musan, the 1-2. Mortimer, they're just fighting that one off. Nice pitch by Musan, and Mortimer lucky to get the bat head on it. Left-hander grounded back to the pitcher in the second. Takes there, and the count is even at 2-2. Check that, 1-2. Both bullpens have calmed. Nobody throwing in either cage at this point. Mortimer trying to work on an at-bat with 2 outs here in the home half of the fifth. Musan has battled. So far 5 runs on 7 hits to the Bantams. And there's a pop-up. Camuso and Musan pointing it out. Castillo's coming on, and he makes the catch to retire the side, but not before Trinity adds another on the sacrifice fly by Ryan Piacentini. 5-3, the Bantams lead as we head to the 6th inning. It is Championship Sunday in the New England Regional, the NCAA and Little East TV.